Hello, friends. Self-Discipline is a book about the biggest battle of your life, the battle with yourself. When we make excuses, procrastinate, or turn away from our own dreams, one thing can save us: self-discipline. And it's this power, this secret that we're bringing to you today. Welcome to InkWaani, where we don't just read books, we live them. Today, we'll explore how a book like Self-Discipline can ignite the laziness within you and transform you into someone who never gives up. Watch until the end, because this isn't just a book, it's a weapon for your most significant battle. Chapter 1: Self-Discipline and Success. Imagine a cold morning. The clock shows 5 a.m. Fog hangs outside. Your bed is warm, sleep is sweet. And then the alarm rings. Now you decide to get up or not. This small decision determines the course of your destiny. This is where the true story of self-discipline begins. Everyone wants to be successful, to achieve something great, to live their dreams. But the path isn't easy. It's not built on motivation. It's built on discipline. Motivation lasts for a few hours or days, but discipline is the force that pulls you in the right direction every single day, no matter what, whether you feel like it or not. Now, a question. Is success a miracle? Is anyone born a genius? No. Success comes to those who learn to control themselves, who rise above their emotions to take action, and who create opportunities instead of waiting for them. This is the difference between an average person and an extraordinary achiever. Discipline doesn't mean you're always inspired. It means you value your goals so much that you won't back down, no matter what. Sometimes you'll be tired, bored, and want to give up. But if you have discipline, you'll do what you don't feel like doing, simply because it's necessary. It's like an athlete who practices daily, rain or shine. They know that by pushing their limits a little more each day, they'll eventually dominate the field. Self-discipline pulls you out of the excuse trap. It teaches you that no matter how strong your emotions are, you can be stronger. Have you ever noticed that successful people always follow routines? They plan, implement, and evaluate. They aren't whimsical, they are predictable. And this consistency sets them apart. Today, if you honestly ask yourself, am I doing everything I can? Am I making myself better every day? If not, perhaps you don't need more motivation, but rather more self-discipline. Because discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. One day you'll reach a crossroads where you have to choose comfort or growth, immediate pleasure or long-term satisfaction. And what you choose in that moment will write your story. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not flashy, but it's reliable. It's the ladder that people climb to reach the heights of success, whether they're a writer, entrepreneur, athlete, or any ordinary person who has achieved something extraordinary. So the next time you feel like you can't, just ask yourself, am I a slave to my comfort zone, or am I becoming the master of my future? Self-discipline is tough, but success is even greater. And if today you make a promise to yourself to be a little better every day, no goal will be out of reach, because ultimately, success goes to those who conquer themselves. Chapter 2: Self-Discipline and Responsibility. Imagine for a moment, if your life were a movie, who would be the director? Your family, your friends, your circumstances, or yourself? The truth is, many people hand over control of their film to others. Some say, I couldn't do it because I lacked resources. Others claim, I never got an opportunity. And some spend their entire lives thinking, fate wasn't on my side. But there's a truth that's both bitter and liberating. You are 100% responsible for your life. Yes, your happiness, your income, your health, your success, all of it rests on your choices. This sounds easy to grasp, but it's incredibly difficult to truly accept because blaming is so easy. If something goes wrong, we quickly point fingers at someone else. The system, the economy, parents, teachers, or even luck. But as long as we keep blaming others, we won't have the power to change ourselves. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you play a part in everything that happens in your life. And when you accept this, a magical transformation begins within you. Because now, you're no longer a victim. You become a creator. Every morning when you wake up, ask yourself, what can I do today that will make my life a little better? This mindset sets you apart from the crowd. However, this path isn't easy. When you hold yourself responsible, the wall of excuses crumbles. You now face your failures and take accountability for your actions. When a child falls, their mother says, "It's okay, try again." But an adult, when they fall in life, often says, "The system is flawed." In reality, growth begins where blaming ends. When you admit, "Yes, that was my mistake," you also gain the power to correct it. This is incredibly powerful. In real life, extraordinary people view every situation as an opportunity. No matter how bad the circumstances, they tell themselves, "I will take charge. I will fix this." And this attitude transforms them from ordinary individuals into leaders. This isn't possible without self-discipline. Discipline teaches you to live by principles, not just emotions. When the world says, "Give up," the person who takes responsibility says, "Let me try one more time." There have likely been many moments in your life where you could have blamed someone else. But tell me, did blaming change anything? No. What changed was when you took action yourself. Taking responsibility doesn't mean taking on others' mistakes. It means recognizing your own power. You have the capacity to change circumstances, no matter how difficult they are. Imagine how powerful the world would become if everyone took 100% responsibility for their lives. No one would lag because everyone would be focused on moving forward. No complaints, just improvement. And if today you're thinking, "I don't have time," "I can't do it," or "my background wasn't good," just pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I want to be the driver of my life or sit in the back seat and let others dictate the path? Responsibility is a gift, painful but powerful. And if you start embracing it today, a new chapter will open in your life. Because true freedom begins when you become the master of your own decisions. Chapter 3. Self-discipline and goals. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever truly thought about what you want in life? I mean, really want. Some say, "I want to be rich." Some say, "I want to gain a lot of fame." And some just say, "I just want to be happy." But when you ask them, by when? How? By what path? There's silence. Why? Because most people dream, but they don't know how to turn those dreams into goals. And a life without goals is like a journey without a map. No direction, no destination. Now imagine you get into a taxi and tell the driver, "Just drive me anywhere." Will they take you to your destination? No. The same thing happens when we don't have clear goals in life. We just keep moving, sometimes here, sometimes there, and then we get tired and give up, thinking perhaps it was just bad luck. But the truth is, it wasn't luck. It was the wrong direction. There's a deep connection between self-discipline and goals. Discipline is the fuel that propels you towards your goal every day. It makes you wake up early. It gives you the courage to put your phone away and the strength to fight distractions. But your goal is your North Star. Without it, even discipline can wander. Let's take a real-life example. There are two boys, Arjun and Deepak. Both join the gym on the same day. For the first week, both are full of enthusiasm. But 2 months later, Deepak is gone. Arjun is still at the gym, pushing his body daily. Why? Because Arjun didn't just join the gym, he set a crystal clear goal: a fit body, defined muscles, and a healthier version of himself in 6 months. His vision was clear. Deepak, on the other hand, only had motivation, which vanished within a week. This is the difference between a dream and a goal. A dream is just a wish, but a goal is a roadmap to turn a wish into reality. Setting a goal isn't just thinking, it's a written commitment, a promise you make to yourself. And when you make that promise, discipline helps you keep it. Many people think setting goals is restrictive, but the truth is, it gives you freedom. Freedom from confusion, freedom from regret, freedom from wasting time. When you know what you want, saying no becomes easier. You can avoid distractions without guilt because your focus is fixed on your goal. Discipline keeps you from stopping, and your goal keeps you from wandering. Remember, a goal without action is just a wish, and action without discipline won't last. Now, close your eyes for a moment and imagine you've achieved everything you want: a better career, financial freedom, emotional stability, physical fitness, a meaningful relationship. Now, open your eyes and think. Are you moving in that direction every day? If not, perhaps you still need to set a goal that both frightens and excites you, and moves you out of that comfort zone you're stuck in. Start small, but do start. And once you write down what you want, a new clarity enters your vision, and then discipline begins to pull you towards that destination. Every great achievement begins with a small clarity. What do I want? And it moves forward with a small courage. What can I do every day to achieve it? So today, just do this. Pick up a notebook and write down one goal. No excuses, no delays, just write it. Because when you give yourself a direction, not only the universe, but your own discipline will start helping you. And then the goal is no longer a dream, it becomes your future. Chapter 4: Self-Discipline and Persistence. Have you ever wondered how people who constantly fall but keep getting up manage to do it? Everyone talks about talent, about luck, but the quality that works most quietly and has the greatest impact is persistence, the ability to keep going. Let me tell you a truth. Millions of people start chasing their dreams every year. Someone starts a business, another a fitness journey. Someone wants to write a book, another chooses a new career path. But only a few reach their destination. Why? Because starting is easy, but persevering is very difficult. And this is where the true role of self-discipline comes in. Persistence isn't glamorous. It doesn't get applause or spotlight. It's with you when everyone else has given up. When you're tired. When you see no results, but you still say, "I won't stop." Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall again and again, get hurt repeatedly, but each time they stand up again because they don't know what it means to give up. Their mind understands failure not as an obstacle, but as a process. So when do we, as adults, learn to give up? Persistence doesn't mean you'll never lose. It means you'll stand up again after every defeat and try again. Not once, but 100 times if necessary. Let's talk about a real-life example. Thomas Edison experimented over 1,000 times to create the electric bulb. People laughed, taunted him, but he chose not to stop. He learned something from every failure, and eventually, he turned darkness into light. Now you might be thinking, he was Edison. I'm just a normal person. But listen, there was no magic in Edison. His magic was his discipline and his persistence. And that determination, that perseverance, is inside you too. Every time you say, "Not today, I'm too tired," or "Maybe I'm not cut out for this," you take a step back from the edge where your victory might be waiting. Success never follows a straight line. It's like a zigzag road, sometimes an uphill climb, sometimes a downhill relief. But those who keep walking that zigzag path eventually reach the highest peak. Now, imagine you started a YouTube channel. For the first few weeks, you got no views, no subscribers. If you didn't have persistence, you might have stopped there. But the creator who uploads videos daily learns something new every day and understands their audience is the one who eventually goes viral. Similarly, a writer who faces a blank page and still writes, an entrepreneur who pitches repeatedly despite rejection, an athlete who practices daily even when no one is watching. All these people are silently, patiently bringing themselves closer to success. Self-discipline tells you to work even when you don't feel like it, and persistence teaches you to keep going even when the path is blurry. There's a saying, winners never quit, and quitters never win. This isn't just a quote, it's the truth. Those who keep trying eventually win the game, no matter the field. And yes, sometimes you'll get tired. Sometimes it will feel useless. But this is where you remind yourself, I've come this far. Stopping now is not an option for me. Self-discipline is a muscle, and persistence is its endurance. The more you use it, the stronger it will become. So, the next time you feel like giving up, just pause and ask yourself, can I take one more step? Because that next step might just change the entire direction of your journey. Chapter 5. Self-discipline and time management. Imagine you have a bank account where 86,400 seconds appear every morning, but with one condition. Any money you don't use that day vanishes at night. What would you do? Absolutely. You'd make full use of every second. Now, know this. Everyone has such an account. The only difference is that it contains time, not money. Every day, 86,400 seconds, and if you don't invest them wisely, they're gone forever. This is time, the most valuable, most limited, and most underrated resource. Now, a question. How do you treat your time? Do you wake up every morning with a clear plan? Or does your day begin with confusion? What should I do today? Where do I start? In reality, many people are busy but not productive. They run around all day, getting entangled in small things, and at night, they exhaustedly say, I didn't achieve anything significant today. And this is where the true role of self-discipline and time management comes in. Managing time isn't a technique, it's a mindset. It's the art that transforms an ordinary person into an extraordinary one. Because whoever controls time controls life. Let's look at a real-life scenario. Suppose there are two people, Rohit and Karan. Both have the same job, in the same office, with the same salary. But Rohit wakes up early every day and plans his entire day. He knows what tasks to do at 10 a.m., what his priorities are in the afternoon, and how much time he needs for self-growth in the evening. On the other hand, there's Karan. He hits snooze, wakes up late, rushes to the office, constantly checks his phone during work, and by evening, he's frustrated with himself. Now tell me, how much difference will there be in their lives a few years later? Simply because of discipline and time management, Rohit will reach a level where people will say, he's so lucky. But the truth will be that he created his own luck through discipline and planning. The first rule of time management is to make every day intentional. This means deciding what you want to achieve before the day even begins. Discipline gives you the power to avoid distractions. When your phone buzzes repeatedly, when Netflix calls out to you, when invitations from friends come in, you still choose your goal. You respect your time. Time management isn't a boring routine, it's a form of self-respect. When you say, I don't have time, what you're actually saying is, I don't have priorities. Because the truth is, we all have as much time as a billionaire. The only difference is how they use every minute and how we do. Self-discipline teaches you that every task has a right time. It teaches you how crucial it is to differentiate between urgent and important. Because those who only chase urgent tasks can never focus on important goals. Successful people dedicate their most productive hours of the day, the early morning hours, to their most difficult and impactful work, while others waste those hours scrolling and snoozing. Now, listen to a short story. There was a student who had to prepare for an exam. He had 10 days, but every day he procrastinated, saying, "I'll start tomorrow." And in the last 2 days, he frantically tried to cram everything. The result was failure. On the other hand, there was another student who dedicated 2 hours every day just for studying. He avoided distractions, stuck to his schedule, and topped the exam. What was the difference? Same syllabus, same number of days. One mastered time, and the other wasted it. As you listen to this, perhaps you also have goals you've been postponing. "I'll do it when I have time. I'll start when the right moment comes." These are all illusions, because the truth is, the right moment never comes. You have to create it. Time management and self-discipline can transform you from average to extraordinary, but only if you approach every day consciously. So starting today, wake up every morning with a plan. Decide which tasks will bring you closer to your goal, and then work on them without any distractions. Because it's not a day, not an hour, but every single minute of discipline that will determine your destiny. And if you make time your friend, no power can stop you from succeeding. Conclusion. So as this journey draws to a close, pause for a moment. Think about what you've gained from this book. Perhaps you've learned that success isn't a secret, not magic. It's not a shortcut known only to a select few. Success is an art that anyone who learns to fight themselves can master. Self-discipline is the force that lifts you every morning and pushes you towards your mission, even if you're tired, unwilling, or the whole world seems against you. This book doesn't just teach rules or techniques. It awakens you. It teaches you to recognize your potential, eliminate your excuses, and break free from everything that has held you back until now. You've learned that taking responsibility doesn't make you powerless. In fact, it's the first step towards becoming powerful. You've understood that without clear goals, you can't get anywhere, and without persistence, no journey is complete. Time, money, health, relationships, discipline is the real hero in every area. The true message of this book is just one: no excuses. No reason, no justification is a license to hold yourself back. Every time you make an excuse, you take a step backward from the person you could be. But if today, right now, you decide to free yourself from excuses, then believe me, you will become unstoppable. Because the greatest change in the world begins when someone tells themselves, "No more. Now I will conquer myself." So, let's turn the final page of this book. But its real journey begins now. In your life, in every single action, in every single decision you make.